This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
Now, you all remember what to do whenever anyone says a secret word, right? Scream! That's right!
In the late 80s, the lively and imaginative Pee-wee's Playhouse made a star out of the high-pitched, bow-tied Pee-wee Herman. And as our then correspondent Tim Vincent found out, the show held a soft spot for its creator, Paul Reuben.
Was it a fun show to work on?
It was the kind of job that everybody who was working on it would come in and go, you know, I love this job.
And what's not to love? Every Saturday morning, kids of all ages tuned into the craziness in Puppet Land thanks to unforgettable characters like Cherry, Conky, and a then unknown Lawrence Fishburne as good old Cowboy Curtis.
Hey, look here, Pee-wee!
Paul scored a huge hit for CBS. The Emmy-winning Playhouse became one of the network's highest-rated children's shows. And while the kids watched Pee-wee purely for the laughs, Paul always tried to give them something more.
I think that the education they got from watching the Playhouse has helped them in life succeed, and so I take a great deal of pride and pleasure at that.
The TV series was born from the success of the 1985 movie Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the first of 3 Pee-wee movies.
Mad Dog! Which mic do I talk into?
And one of the proudest days of Paul's life was when he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Anybody who I stepped on to get to the top can come down here every day after this and step on me. Thank you. Thanks.
It's a jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show.
Look at there, guys! Salesman! Ah! I still do
It's a secret word.
it. What's the secret word?
If someone says a secret word, yell really loud.
Oh, I love that Robot Chicken spoof where it's like, murder!
Ah!
Oh, I'm glad I never had to sit on a chair like Cherry.
Yeah, that's the way that they did things in there was, I'd say it was MC Escher meets Picasso on an acid trip. But dang it, it was so darn cute.
It was fun. I mean, it says a lot when, like, everybody finds it appealing. And it says a lot that you survived the actors' scandal, which really shouldn't have even been a scandal. Like, who was there paying attention to a guy doing whatever he wanted in his free time? It's like,
Yeah, I think I know, but I'm not sure I want to trust them with
Is like-
important information like that.
yeah, I don't want to really know. And I'm just like, if I had been there, which I sure as fuck would not be, I believe in being in the comfort of my own home, but I'm just like, someone should have just said, okay, narc, what you doing here, narc?
Well, I gotta tell you, I was in that theater and I was watching the Pee-wee Herman.
I was into my job way too seriously.
Yeah,
Oh.
but overall, Pee-wee's Playhouse, it was a slice of fun.
Mhm.
I can't put my finger on exactly why I love it so much, but it's a slice of childhood. That's the closest I can come to it. And if you knew the origins behind the character and saw the more adult oriented show that kind of that they cleaned up and turned into Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Right. I totally spaced on how technically the character was in Cheech and Chong's next movie.
But and even the stage show that they did with Pee-wee and Phil Hartman and Miss Yvonne and all that was very much more adult oriented, and
yeah.
but it still had that childish element to it that made it that harkened back to our own and kind of made us wonder, is Mr. Rogers really a sex pervert? We don't know. So it took it, but then they sanitized it for the purposes of Saturday morning TV.
Mhm.
And what they did was they created a phenomenon. I mean, everything
Totally.
they had. And in doing so, they gave Paul Rubens another level of credibility. Not only could he entertain on some of these side projects like Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Yeah.
but he could also do that fun little guy that we want him to be.
Yep.
And in doing so, that also kind of typecasted him.
Yeah, there was every read up I saw on him and other write ups after his death. I think they all pretty much summed it up perfectly. Is like he had all this enormous talents, all these different kinds of characters and voices he could do, but unfortunately, a lot of it was underutilized. And you're like, ah, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Paul Reuben in general. He, like you said, he was very talented, and he was one of the modern masters of physical comedy.
Mm-hmm. He aside from some Tim Burton movie appearances, I did see him on the Tron cartoon show and Pushing Daisies, and Mystery Man was another fun role for him. There's the
Yes.
Spinkster, but yeah, I didn't know that he debuted the Pee Wee Herman character while he was at the Comedy Improv Studio, the Groundlings. I thought he was just finding himself, learning the skills and everything. I didn't realize he debuted the Pee Wee character there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that kind of grew into the show that they used to play on HBO all the time, and with a vastly different theme song than what the kids show had. But the one gag I can always remember from the HBO show that they did was Pee Wee and one of his friends had shined up the sole of their shoes so they could look up a young girl's dress.
Yes.
And then they say, "We're just trying. Are you trying to see up and see my panties?" And they go, "Yeah." Well, I fooled you. I'm not wearing any.
Oh, it's so wild too, just seeing in '91 at the end of the show him do a drug PSA.
Yes.
Part of a war on drugs.
Yeah, this is crack.
Yeah, as soon as the cameras turn off, you can have some more. I didn't know he was at the Guys Choice Awards in '07. I saw a lot of Spike TV, but I didn't always watch their cheesy award shows. But apparently, he played Paul Rubens did a host segment, and he was in character as Paul Pee Wee. And I never grew as big on the movies, but I respect them. They just weren't for me personally, but they were almost always throughout the '90s to 2000s on Nickelodeon or Disney Channel at like 2 in the afternoon. And I just always dug the show. I had an official VHS tape that had 2 episodes from midway in the run, and I would my parents would rent a bunch of the other compilations from video stores, and it was always just fun. It didn't matter what stage of the show it was in or how it went about. It was just perfect in that, like, no matter how the puppets were animated, no matter how the animation segments were done, it's just so engaging. And it is so funny seeing how future filmmaker John Singleton as well as Rob Zombies were both production assistants.
and let's not forget Lawrence Fishburne.
Yep. He met Singleton there, and he's like, "Whatever, brother, I'm not working for you." And then, sure enough, what's this movie you call Boys in the Hood? Okay, I'll do it. I trust you, bro. But I did used to see back when YouTube was first a thing, someone did a hysterical mashup where they dubbed over Fishburne's Cowboy Curtis character with Morpheus dialogue.
Nice.
You're in the Matrix, Pee-wee.
What have I told you?
Yeah, what if I told redo that meme? What if I told you that everything is inside Paul Reuben's head?
Yeah, but going back to the production element of it, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, it like you said, it's perfect. There, and it had to have taken so much behind the scenes work to make even Clocky work, to make
Oh,
Cherry
yeah.
work, to make every non-human piece of that. It must have taken. I can't even imagine the amount of manpower hours I would have to go into that just to do one
Given
episode.
how I've heard Jim Henson and even Gremlins type puppeteers talk about how they would use butt puppets, I wouldn't be surprised if it took just 5 guys just to hold up certain characters and make their mouths move.
Yes.
Yeah, just
And
yeah.
but at the core of it, Pee Wee's Playhouse was innocent fun, and even though I knew about the earlier stuff, it still hit me right in the kid. Right.
I think that's just it. Like it was just there was all kinds of humor. There was the guy. He's mostly a smartass for the most part. I used to see people even take quotes from the show and do what the character even did on screen, where they would do a prank calls. You know, I know you are, but what am I? And yeah, there's a certain innocent charm to it, but then it is weird. It is almost like Mr. Rogers with a bunch of demented Muppets on, and I do like your description on acid. And I see some people who behind the scenes, it's like they were uneasy about Mr. Rubens. Like they would be like, "Oh, that guy's a pedophile." I'm like, "He's not a pedophile. Why would you say that?" Oh, he's so weird and dorky. I'm like, I think that says more about you. You're insecure.
A young Dan Schneider enters the picture.
Yeah, you can go after Schneider. I think you can leave Mr. Rubens alone.
Yeah, definitely. Rubens, for all his faults, he hit on something that obviously he had some experience with the kid style television, even if it's like a local guy doing like a local clown doing cartoons, or if it's something even more mainstream like Mr. Rogers, like we said.
Mhm.
He definitely had an appreciation for that, and that came out in everything that went into that house, and everything that went into that show, and everything that went into every script, even down to the characters that kept coming in, the mailman, the cowboy Bill, Miss Yvonne, the
Yes.
sailor, that everybody. It was. I'm at a loss to describe just how wonderful and how pure and how truly childlike it was.
Totally.
While at the same time, it didn't really talk down to anybody either.
No, nothing
It
demented, nothing cynical. It's over the top, but I mean, you could be the youngest of people and not really understand it and still feel comforted. It's that kind of
exactly, and that's I think one of the big reasons why it has such a wide swath of fandom from kids to adults. You could show episodes of Pee Wee's Playhouse to kids of these days, and they would I dare say they would get the same amount of enjoyment as we would.
Yep.
And we were a lot closer to the source material than the kids today are.
Yes. Oh my god. And every character was pretty much just like introducing all the nuttiness. So yeah, Miss Giovanni, Miss Steve, Dixie, Penny, Reba the mail lady, yeah, the King of
Absolutely.
Cartoons.
Yes.
Was
How can we
neat.
forget the King of Cartoons?
I don't know. And it's like they're anytime I see a bizarre vision on screen, I almost always am like, are they doing their take on Zombie the Genie?
Yes. Mecca hi, Mecca honey ho. But just everything about that show visually, it will overstimulate you, definitely. It visually, it's like drinking a cup of espresso while it's being shot. Well, it's being shot directly into your veins, but
Totally.
but you strip away the gaudiness of it, for lack of a better term, and you have yourself a fine little show.
Absolutely. Oh, oh man. What I found even funnier is apparently Lawrence Fishburne approached the Cowboy Curtis role as a dark and gritty, Black John Wayne, and Rubens was like,
Mhm.
lighten up. His actual quote. Oh,
Yeah, that would have been a nice contrast, but it wouldn't have worked. I mean, everybody's role in that just it had to be squeaky clean. You couldn't play a really bad guy without even if you did have a bad guy in there. I mean, I can't remember if there were ever episodes where somebody would come in and play a bad guy. Even
yes.
then, but even if they did that, it would have to be somebody who you knew was the bad guy, but he still was a squeaky clean bad guy.
Hmm. Yeah, it was kind of very much like Mr. Science Theater. Pee Wee's gonna have an unusual gadget. He always has bizarre scooters and that go lightning fast with unusual helmets.
Yes, and the scooter endings every time were just so awesome.
Oh yeah.
There's like I looked at that and said, "Damn it, that's Batman '66."
The DeLorean, from Back to the Future has nothing on. Apparently, Shirley Stoller, she was a B movie kind of actress, and apparently, she had such a negative attitude that apparently that was why the character disappeared after a while. She's only in those first few seasons, and then mentioned afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's hard to hard to conceive that a show like that actually would have bad blood. I mean, you might have some behind the scenes frictions, obviously, but the final product, like you said, consistent time
Hmm.
after time. You you could you could wind a watch on it. You could set your watch to just how precise everything was.
Absolutely. My father would have often wake up on Sunday mornings and watch it, and he was like, "This is so crazy and out there." But I know what I'm doing with my time, and I think it's interesting how, yeah, just adults love it as much as kids, which is just really unheard of. Usually, there's a certain range, and it is just an unusual show where it
Yeah,
was suited for all kinds of people. Rest in peace to Lynn Mary Stewart, Miss Giovanni herself. It's like it's
yeah.
so wild how today's crowd is going to go, oh yeah, that's Charlie's mother, and it's like, yeah, 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 but hold on, hold the front door, hold on a second.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. Time out. We gotta go back a little bit further.
Okay, okay, yep.
Excuse me. But really, the one thing that it really, not to mention, one thing that it just hit me was that this Pee Wee's Playhouse had the same kind of approach to doing children's TV as Rocky and Bullwinkle did.
Yeah, yeah. There's a contrast.
Yeah,
Talking
you
really
had
fast, insert tongue twisters, and if you don't get it, then just stop. Just stop watching.
yeah, you got the cartoon element of it for the kids. That they're going to laugh at the silly stuff, and the adults are picking up on some of the more adult references, like the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, and it's like, oh my gosh! And so that kind of spirit definitely played into Pee Wee's Playhouse, and
Yep.
that's what,
There's
yeah, definitely.
apparently in riff tracks they've done all kinds of appearances, including "You did it," and always so encouraging. Every once in a while when I watch Mystery Science Theater, they would, much like they would let out a Three Stooges "nuck nuck nuck," I would every once in a while hear a
Yeah.
um, And then there's always everybody on Pee Wee's Playhouse always had a "I like you," like. But they had some unusual guest spots. There was one with Jimmy Smits, and there was a few other unusual ones. Like, wow, you're on this, okay?
But yeah, and I think that's part of the appeal of it too. Is
Mhm.
it was truly unpredictable. Even if you watched it a million times, you watched every episode a million times, you know it's coming. You still want to have that. You still want to have that element of surprise from there, and
Yes,
invariably, it'll come back up. It's
totally.
like, oh, I didn't remember that, and you'll find something new in every episode if you really do some digging.
Yeah, Sandra Bernhard was the picture phone operator. Rhonda. Oh man. Oh, and I don't know. It's just I think without that, you kind of don't tell people it's okay to be odd and weird and uncanny. Just and again, even if you're not into that kind of thing, it did kind of have a Weird Al kooky puppet show rhythm to it. It's like, yeah, just
Yeah,
go
and
your
that
unusual way with this. Just
yeah,
do it.
and around the same time, they also at Pee Wee's Playhouse, they also had the Weird Al show.
So there you go, CBS. They got a trademark.
Yeah, and the Weird Al show in and of itself, very good show. But um, for children's programming of the '80s, Pee Wee's Playhouse definitely top tier, definitely upper echelon.
Yeah, you're getting no argument here, dude. I would see people who hate it, and it just seemed like I think they just I don't know. It seemed like they just saw the news and were just like, I can't keep the artist separate. I'm like, what did he do? Really? What did he do? He didn't slap anybody. He didn't murder anybody. Really? It's just
If he was abusing anybody, he was abusing himself.
right. And then it's like the DA in LA had the nerve to act like they wanted to bring random charges against random celebs and act it. They made up a story that his porn collection happens to be kid porn. And it's like, and then they took that away. I'm like, well, that wasn't the case though. You just
No,
trust
you have
me.
a whole thing. Yeah,
If he was really really weird, you and had some bizarre shit, you would know.
yes, and you would have definitely found out at least in the internet age.
I mean, you can't put him on the same level as an R. Kelly type. It just stop.
Yeah, you definitely can't put him on the same level as a John Crispaluzzi or the aforementioned Dan Snyder.
Definitely not. Definitely not to the point of where you're just like, I want to watch this, but I don't want to give the person money. It's like I was just like, okay, so he should have stayed in the theater. I don't know why he went outside to do what he was doing, but it's really not that uncommon for that kind of a sleazy place. It's just, but again, like it kind of made you wonder who was there watching in a pre TMZ world. It's like, and I could understand. And then it gets even weird. I know we all kind of sound like contrarians, but then it's kind of wild how rock stars kind of get away with way more, but we kind of expect it of them because there's a reason they have the bad boy attitude. They've lived and
Yes,
seen some crazy shit. They've seen more shit than your granddad did in Vietnam. It's
and probably, but yeah, that does bring up an interesting um, dichotomy there. But also in that time frame, even we were dealing with that. It kind of blew up in the early '90s. Um, that type, the LA, the Hollywood style, police department stuff like that. That was just from what I've been led to understand and what I've read. It was just a hotbed of corruption. That he had
yeah,
people gunning for for the for the
yeah,
big
especially
celebrity
around that time.
indictments.
Well, and
Yeah,
I blame it all on the culture that the media really did create at that point. People looked forward to seeing who can I dig up some dirt on? What famous actor can I roast just because they're different, not necessarily because they've done bad movies or whatever. It's just like I just wanted to fail. Fuck them. It's like,
Yeah, but and even then, to extend it out a little bit further. Now it's time for Tom's social commentary. Just that there's there's just an entire culture of corruption in the DA's office, in the LAPD.
Yep.
So that made that kind of thing acceptable, if not a, a way to punch your ticket into celebrity, at least in some level. And then
Yeah.
what happened is that because of that corruption, because of that desire to become famous in a job that you really shouldn't be famous in, you
Yeah.
you run into situations like the Rodney King beating and the subsequent riots and the beating of Reginald Denny, and he showed that there really was a two-tiered justice system back then, and
Hmm.
even today.
Absolutely. It's just like just about everybody's going to be a DUI, and then it gets even just kookier how then the joke becomes make sure that if you have a lawyer anywhere, it's someone in LA. They'll cut you a perfect deal.
Absolutely, and while that's going on, you got people who might legitimately be innocent, or at least not be as guilty as people are being led to believe.
Right?
They're getting the shaft
They're
because,
totally getting shafted. Yeah.
and they're getting beaten in some cases, and
Vince
the
Neil killed a guy, and got only a month, but everyone's like, oh, he went out of his way to kill him. Like, no, he was drunk. Shit happened. Oh,
yeah,
it's like again, if it doesn't go back to I want him to fail, it goes back to just people just being just like, well, you're celebrities, therefore, you got nothing to lose. It's like, trust me, a lot of people got a lot of stuff to lose.
yep, yep. Just ask me anybody who's been connected to Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. If you don't sleep with me, I'll ruin your name, and people will buy it because people are dumb enough to take my word for it. They don't know I'm a bastard as well.
And even the non-bastard people connected to Weinstein had to at least kind of take a step back and say, "Hey, I had nothing to do with that."
Right? It's
It,
just like,
it is a matter of separating the art from the artist, as it were. And Pee Wee Herman, we didn't get a chance to do that. We were so enamored with, oh, he was a children's star and he was caught doing something completely not childlike.
that's just it. It was very approachable. It was just kooky, very kooky, but still created its own world. I wouldn't, you can call it many things, but random would definitely not be one of them. I would never call it, hackneyed or reliant on just him. Like it was interesting even when he wasn't on screen, which was rare. But
Yeah, I would have loved to have been a fly in the room of the script room. To be honest with
yeah. How does
you,
he pitch these ideas and film them?
yeah, and even just figure out how much of this is improv, and everybody was so
Yes.
good at it
Oh
because you
man.
have that with Groundlings, you have that kind of improv background,
Yep.
so you would almost have to either instill that or at least make that known that, hey, this could be improv. So the script we have may be completely thrown out the way out the window if we come up with something better.
Gotcha. Yeah. It's wild too. Like, I mean, it was a good source of also Play-Doh and claymation kind of
Oh
animated.
yes, yeah. That's where I remember the Penny cartoons from. Those were so cute, and they that brought me back to the world of Gumby.
Yeah. And there was an unusual moral to the story, and it's, again, just so soothing. It's just like, yeah, it's just, and the sky was the limit. And
Yep, and more often than not, Pee-wee's Playhouse hit it.
it hit it. I And I really don't know how you could do something like that now in terms of just what comedian could you even think of who is like, yeah, I'm down to try this out and do my own thing. It seems like the internet's now the place.
Yep. Um, and we're all poor as a result. Thank you, interwebs.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you really couldn't do that. Like you mentioned, I can't think of anybody who'd be able to fit the mold as perfectly as Paul Rubens did.
Oh, definitely not. I think that's the other thing too. Like he was in that bizarre predicament where now that's all they want me to see me be. And
Mhm.
I had seen him in some other things. I saw him in this one 2000 Western with Dwight Yoakam and Billy Bob that wasn't great, but he had like a blink and a miss, like henchman role. Just gets shotgunned. And so when I see him in just all these other movies, like, and working with Paul Bartel, the comedian and filmmaker too, it's just so wild how he's so used to being in just bizarre stuff. Like he's one with it. He's down for it.
Yeah, and but and that speaks to just how a popular character can really bind you into that role, but
Yes.
it also gives you a desire to break out of that.
Hmm.
I can tell you this from my few stints of doing stand up comedy. Um,
Yes.
my initial act was just basically I would set up a few jokes, but then the big finale was I do impressions, and
Perfect.
those went over very, very well. So I said, you know what? I don't want to be typecasted as just the guy who can do impressions. I can do them, but I don't want to be the one that I want to show that I can do other things.
Just the
And then
netted
when I
guy in the corner. No thanks.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy who can do all the voices and going to say, "Hey, there's Jeffrey Goldblum. I'm going to be over here, and then we're going to go over here and we're going to contact to we're going to talk to Liam Neeson. I don't know who you are." And and but in doing so, you have to be so confident in your ability to not just be that one guy.
Yeah.
You have to be able to have that confidence and say, you know what, I'm going to do this. It may suck, but it's a way for me to step away from the character that everybody wants me to be, that I make the most money out of. So it
Hmm.
becomes a matter that are you chasing the money or are you chasing the art?
Right. Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Sky
Yeah.
is
So
the
on that somber note,
limit. Oh man, yeah, I think that's the best way to sum it up. Like it is. Where is it streaming now? You said it was on Tubi. Where else can one find it streaming? It is. Oh, it's also on Hulu. Okay, cool.
I was maybe Shout Factory might or Shout TV might have them.
I believe
I
so
think.
too, and
Yeah.
appears to be for HBO Max. That's what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
and I mean, when he kept making his comeback, just on Jimmy Kimmel, and then appearing on Conan, and then sitting down for an interview, and then doing a recreation of his dance and from one of the movies on SNL, and then doing his Netflix movie special, I was just like, see, he never really left. Like he can do this character in his sleep. Like
Hmm.
you can't have Paul Rubens without Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah. But I think the ultimate the capstone in his career, regardless of how you feel about what he did and how he got caught, was when he went on the MTV. I think it was the Music Awards or, or something like that. He came out dressed as Pee Wee Herman. Said, "Anybody have heard any good jokes lately?" And that was that forever will be the crowning moment, the proof that he could rise out of the scandal like a phoenix, and after that, he was untouchable.
Hmm. It
He
is
could
an
still touch it.
unusual one too. Like how would this have played in today's cancel culture? Okay, so what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you still did bad things, therefore you must be shunned to the
I'm
hinterlands.
gonna shoot you on sight. What? Oh my God.
Or maybe just shoot you a dirty look. I don't know.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Oh man, so wild. I got nothing bad to say. I don't. There's so many worse programs, and I have seen occasionally some people complain about certain kinds of skits. I'm like, it's a nutty show that I would dare not waste any time criticizing. It's meant to be. It's inventive. It's nutty. It's organized nutty. It's it's an absolute perfect family show. I don't.
Yeah.
I can't. If I'm gonna bitch about it, there's so many other things we could be doing, and this is not worthy of
Yeah,
bashing.
this is exactly. He did his time, and but the show he created, that, like I said, that's top tier, upper echelon. You cannot. You would be hard pressed to find a show that was more wholesome, and yet
Mhm.
so exemplified the mood of the '80s than
Yes,
Pee-wee's Playhouse.
totally. I mean, all the things. I mean, and you needed a variety show. You needed something that not only everyone could watch, but that was just very easy to syndicate. Very neat to have everybody talk with each other about. It was just, I mean, it was kind of just an alternative. If you're not going to watch, if you're too old for Sesame Street, if you don't want to talk about other kinds of things, like this is the one.
Absolutely. And like we said, you could do a lot worse. There's a lot of stuff on
Oh,
Nickelodeon
totally.
from that time, from the '90s and 2000s, that would definitely be well worse
Hmm.
in Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Well, would you rather there be homophobic jokes or just content blurring the line between PG and rated R on TV?
You know what?
I'm
not
tempted
sure.
now. Now that I've said
Under advice from my lawyer, I'm not allowed to speak on this matter.
It's just like, man, I'm not gonna get angry at this show. Not a chance.
And if you can't get angry, check your pulse, man. Just and just check to see if there's a giant stick up your ass.
Butthurt person on aisle 5. Huh.
Yeah, you want to see the manager? Yeah, he doesn't care either. Yeah, absolutely. I love doing this.
Remember to if someone says the magic word.
Yeah, if someone says the magic word, scream real loud.
Classic.
We'll return after these messages.
If you like small town mystery, crazy news, and wild history, then the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast is for you. Each week, Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty bring you the absolute best Florida has to offer. So if you're looking for a show that's safe for the family, but funny enough to help you escape everyday life, then listen to the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. That's Florida Men, plural, on Florida Man podcast.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and foodie debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening.
It's a jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. Jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show. It's a jacked up review show.